What I love most about Mi Gente is our community and how important it is to take care of our own.
Hey, it's Honey and Carolina. On our podcast, Life in Spanglish, we talk about how important being there for your loved ones is.
Pero también sobre lo importante que es tener a alguien dispuesto a apoyarte cuando lo necesites, como lo hace State Farm.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Aprende más en es.statefarm.com.
This year, set a self-improvement goal. Like socially dominating your friends with your superior streaming knowledge. Catch up on the hits you missed with Prime Video. From Reacher to Taylor Swift The Eras Tour extended version. And The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Watch everything included on Prime. Rent or buy new releases. Add on hundreds of streamers. One app, one password. Prime Video. Find your happy place. Restrictions apply. Prime membership not required to rent or buy. See Amazon.com/Amazon Prime for details.
Hi, this is Lori Johnson with Hancock Whitney Bank, and you're listening to Local Leaders, the podcast. Visit localleadersthepodcast.com for previous episodes or for information on appearing on the show.
All right, everyone, welcome to another edition of Local Leaders, the podcast. And look, y'all know how much I love those family-owned businesses around here. I really love those second-generation family-owned businesses, and the guy I got sitting across from me right now is Mr. Matt Moss. So first of all, welcome to Local Leaders.
Thanks for the opportunity.
And he is with CNA Associates. And look, y'all, when we're done today, it's going to blow your mind what you got available right here in Livingston Parish, Louisiana. Before we get into all the things that CNA Associates does, and trust me, many different capacities, right here in Denham Springs, let's learn a little more about you. And you're from Livingston Parish, correct?
Yes, sir. Born and raised here in Denham.
Born and raised right here in Denham Springs. Yellow Jacket?
Yes, sir.
You can go Yellow Jackets. And you have 3 children?
Correct.
And a son that goes to Louisiana Tech?
Yes, sir.
That means he's smart. That's
we did something right.
That's right. That's exactly right. And look, what I'm about to tell you now is going to blow your mind. You have some hobbies. One of them I share with you, which is golf. You like to golf?
I do enjoy golf.
Good golfer? Hacker?
We have good days. We have bad days.
I hear you. But the second one, it really shocked me when I read it, y'all. And now we're in South Louisiana, and Matt likes a little hockey.
Yes, sir.
How did that happen?
Grew up speed skating, roller speed skating.
Yeah.
So kind of like Ricky Bobby.
Yeah.
Skate heaven one day. I want to go fast. And,
Very good.
Got into that, and then I did that all the way through about sophomore year of high school.
Yeah.
And at the time, the Kingfish were here.
Yes.
A buddy I went to high school with said, hey, we need people that know how to skate.
Yeah.
Got me some gear, and we started.
Look, I used to go to those Kingfish games all the time. Remember the Go Fish Go?
Oh, absolutely.
Fun stuff, y'all. Trust me. And
it's one of the better games to watch live.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Very fast, very fast. Now, let's get into CNA Associates. And I guess the first thing that stood out to me was the amount of time that y'all have been in existence. I mean, you didn't just start this company yesterday.
No, sir.
Tell me a little bit about the history.
So to start the company, it was started on a kitchen room table at mom and dad's house back in 89, 90.
Yeah.
We incorporated in 91.
Yeah.
Dad was a long-time software creator in the banking industry, starting way back with Bank of New Orleans. And then was recruited through to L&B, and then from there to MMR. And then he and his partner at the time decided to take a risk and start a company.
Very good. And you didn't start all, the interesting thing about all companies, and in particular yours, is it kind of grew into these other things that we're going to talk about today. But it started out with, was it checking software for banks?
Yes, Dad was a programmer, but his main job was supporting the banks, the local community banks for L&B.
Okay.
And at the time when Premier came in, which is now Chase, they got rid of his department. So he reached out to some of his old customers and said, hey, do you want to pay me to help support you when you need a call?
Right. Very smart. And sat on the kitchen table and with mama and just came up with this vision and then acted on the vision, which is so important. From there, your family did kind of what most successful businesses do. And I would imagine at some point they kind of look to scale things or add options to what the service that they were offering. And a lot of that typically comes by someone calling maybe your dad and saying, hey, do y'all do this or do y'all do that?
You're spot on.
Yeah. And sometimes us as business owners will say, yeah, we do it. And maybe at the time we don't necessarily do it, but we're going to figure it out. And so that's where the vastness of your company, I would imagine, kind of became in existence, where you decided, okay, we're going to start offering things like vaults and we're going to other services.
100%. You do a good job in one arena, and then somebody calls and says, hey, we need help, and there's no one local.
Yeah.
Well, you find somebody that can do it. As Dad says, you find the right people, hire them, and get out of their way.
Yeah. Ooh, great advice. And us as business owners, a lot of times we will almost micromanage people to where they can't work. And I've been guilty of that because it's our baby, right? And you want to make sure that, but thank God for people and the people that work for you. They're a big deal. Now, you offer a lot. We're going to talk about kind of two segments of what you offer today. The first is in the financial realm. The second is in, I guess you could say, the law enforcement realm. And we'll start with the financial realm. And you offer everything from deposit automation to merchant capture, which merchant capture is basically like the credit card.
It started with
debit
checks.
Card machine. Okay.
So we don't do a lot with the credit card or card processing.
Yeah.
We could do stuff with the background data.
Right.
But our start is from paper checks and then how checks have evolved. So now you can record it on your phone, take a picture, type it out, send it to the bank. So
y'all have the software for that you can actually set up. And of course, people, that's like when you go to your app and you just deposit check, snap a picture of it, and
exactly right.
And the money magically appears. You also do, what you were known for initially was your Check 21 processing, correct?
Yes,
Is that
sir.
kind of where y'all started?
Yes.
Okay. And what is that, just general check processing?
Yeah. So it's all the background operations, back in the day before you had all the automations and cell phones. You'd go to the bank, you'd give them a check, they would run it through, make sure your signature was good, and then pay you. Then there would be a 3 or 4 day what they call the float, and that would be the days until the bank could get a courier to then bring it to the Federal Reserve or the clearinghouse, the local clearinghouse.
Right.
And at that point, they say, yeah, those funds are good.
Yeah.
Well, if they weren't, you had 3 or 4 days to get away.
Oh, wow.
So Check 21 took it to where now there are check scanners. They put it through a little machine. It actually records all the data. It'll verify your amount, your signature, your handwriting.
Yeah.
Hit your bank account or whoever's paying, hit that bank account and say, yeah, the funds are good. And now it's done in 28, 29 seconds.
Unbelievable. And, there used to be a lot, and I'm sure this really helped with that, but there used to be a lot of scams where people would write checks against checks. And as long as they didn't forget to write another check, they could keep on doing that forever.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I would imagine that software really helped with that. It'd be, the verification process of the funds a lot quicker.
We were, Dad was good about seeing the future.
Yeah.
And seeing, hey, if we could do this, we could automate. People would like it. People couldn't do the float.
Yep. Well, he sure did. He saw a lot into the future, and really the business kept going. And all that software that you offered, you also got into kind of the hardware side of things. And really now you're almost like a turnkey operation on the hardware side of financial.
You walk into a bank, everything but the concrete, the brick, the carpeting, everything else we can sell it, install it, maintain it for you.
That's unbelievable. And all started from that kitchen table, y'all. They have everything from check processing machines, vaults, you can bulletproof glass.
Absolutely.
How about that? Coin sorters, vacuum tubes, ATMs, all those sorts of things, security systems. But here's the great part. And this is what I found impressive. You also service all this stuff.
Absolutely. So
that's the key. They're not just gonna, for example, I'm not even sure what you call these, but the machines when you go through the drive-through at a bank and you put it in the tube and you shoot it to the what is that called?
VATs, vacuum operated tubes.
Okay, so you work on those?
Tubes. Yes. So we install them, work on them, repair them, whatever the bank needs.
In 2002, around that time, you decided to kind of branch your business out even further, and you have a great story about, I guess you call it a trade show you were at. Where there was a gentleman there and he was using some technology called RFID. And kind of tell that story. I want you to tell it because it's pretty good.
So it was Bill and at the time one of our salespeople, Tommy. They were at a banking conference. Had a booth. Say hello to everybody. Hope they stop by. Tell them what you do.
Meet and greet.
Right. In the downtime, you always walk around, see what's out there, see who's new. How do you grow? You get people that know what they're doing, and you offer it. So. Just like you said, the guy next door, he was selling labels that went on your file at the bank.
Sure.
And that's where your title, your loan documents were. And at the time it was around, there was a big court case where somebody had forged this loan document. So now it was, if you remember, you had to turn back around and you had to sign everything in blue. Because you couldn't photocopy it.
Yes.
It wasn't black.
Right.
So at that time, their big thing, or this gentleman's thing, was he wanted to be able to track these loan documents. And with RFID, you can track it from 40, 50 feet away, or if it gets lost, you can go find it. You pull it out of the file cabinet, it's in somebody's office, but you need it now.
Yeah.
It's not in the file cabinet.
Right.
So, we took it and said, well, look, we do a lot with banks in the Gulf South. Why don't you give us some distribution rights? We'll go bring it to our customers, see what happens.
Sure.
And that's how we got introduced to RFID.
Wow. And, a huge technology. The RFID changed the world in a lot of ways. And I'll give you one example of that. And I don't know if you know this, you might, but Vegas and the little chips. Okay. Look, y'all, back in the day, and I'm not talking too far back in the day, this is like the 90s. Vegas, they had two guys, they were contractors in Las Vegas, and they figured out a way to actually fake the casino chips. They were so good at it, they stole like $2 million, or they faked $2 million worth of chips. They would go to the casino and they would cash them in. They were getting away with it until one guy talked about it to another guy, and then they got caught. The moral to the story is Vegas was freaking out because nobody had ever been able to fake those that accurately. So what they did was they looked into RFID, and now all those chips have RFID technology in them, and that's the only way that they could come up with to actually figure out whether they were real or fake chips.
Right. And funny thing is the guys that did it got away because they'd stand outside of the casino and tell people, hey, I won so much money they kicked me out, but I'll give you $500 to go exchange this $5,000 chip for me because I can't go in. So they were having other people do the fraud for them.
I didn't know that part. Wow. They were even recruiting and people didn't even know it. But that blew my mind when I read that. And through that RFID technology, you started Padtrax.
Correct. Yes, sir.
Great name, by the way.
Thank you.
And that's right here. And Padtrax can do a lot of things, especially in the realm of law enforcement. It was just great timing that we're doing this show when we're doing it, because obviously I do another show called Real Life Real Crime Daily. And in that show, we cover current news. And I thought this is going to be great to put out here for people to really get a grasp on the issues in some departments right now with regard to, using a system like Padtrax to track a lot of things that they do. So y'all bear with me. I want to just read something to everybody. But this is an example of what your company would do to solve this problem. Okay. And this is just 2 weeks ago. Salt Lake City police are missing thousands of pieces of evidence. Inspectors have told the Salt Lake City police chief that the department was unable to locate 2,316 pieces of evidence, including firearms, drugs, cash, and jewelry. Another 7,500 items were sent out for forensic testing, which in fact they are believed to be somewhere in Salt Lake City's evidence storage. The smaller group of missing items are thought to be somewhere in storage or destroyed as part of standard purging. Derek Mears, the crime lab and evidence room director for Salt Lake City Police, said that, but he said there's no indication that any of these items are out in the public. Maybe not. Sometimes this happens. It's human error where somebody's going to scan an item to the wrong box, or as they scan the barcode on an evidence tag, it doesn't scan properly. The inspectors, though, contend that the problem went beyond whether the evidence is accounted for, and it kind of goes into talk about that. Now, let's talk about the seriousness of this. What you do is all software based to where it's like a check-in, check-out system. It's kind of like barcoding on steroids. Like it's the next generation of that. I just read you this article, and is this something that occurs often?
Very often.
And that is the solution that you offer, really, to that.
Yes. I mean, when it comes to, keeping up with things, I got 3 things on me at all times.
Yeah.
My wallet, my cell phone, and my keys.
Right.
I lose one of them weekly. Let's be honest.
I know the feeling. Yeah.
But I would say with Salt Lake City PD, that's a huge city.
Yeah.
I would say they probably have 4 to 5 people in the evidence room, and they've probably got close to 500,000 items in there.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what we could do is tell them every time something walks in that room or out of that room, all real time as they're moving.
Yeah.
When they say missing items, a lot of times these things are just misplaced. It's supposed to be in box 1, 2, 3, but you had a bad day and you put it in box 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
But again, at 500,000 items, how long does that take you to find it?
Right. And this is serious stuff. I mean, you're not losing library books. You're losing firearms, drugs, cash, jewelry, things that are heavy value, and maybe it's just lost. Maybe somebody stole it. If you don't know where it's at, you're never going to have that answer. Another thing that technology Padtrax does is it will not only tell you where something is, it'll tell you in real time where it's at, correct?
Always recording.
Yeah. So if I have a piece of evidence, I'm bringing it to the evidence room, it will know that?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, as soon as you walk through the threshold, so we set up zones. There's always one outside. There's 1 to many inside.
Yeah.
And as you walk through, we're recording date and time.
Wow. And how did the Padtrax side of it come around? So, because you're in the banking industry at this point, when you built or you I guess imagined Padtrax and made it a reality. Of course, it started at that trade show with the RFID technology, but someone somewhere decided to take that to law enforcement specifically. How did that occur?
Yeah, like every good idea in Louisiana, it started off at a crawfish boil.
Of course. That is where the great ideas happen.
Dad's first cousin was a 4-term sheriff in St. Tammany.
Yeah.
At the time, he had just retired, and maybe he'd retired 2 or 3 years before.
Right.
And so, hey, Billy, what are you up to nowadays? So he tells him about this new technology, things we're going to look for in the future. Always looking to grow and keep new people and new customers coming in.
Sure.
And so tell Uncle Pat about it. And he says, well, in 16 years, I think we were only able to do inventory in the evidence room once, just because of the mass of the items and the time it takes.
Yeah.
You can't quit your job and do this. You've got you got more stuff coming in.
That's right.
And they talked. I got hey, come see me. So I went over to his table.
Yeah.
And he said, you're going to go sit. Pat's going to introduce you to the evidence person there. I want you to go sit with him for 6 weeks.
Right.
Went there and took step by step on everything they had to do in evidence. Brought it back to our development team and said, how can we automate this? And we just started going.
Yeah. And a lot of times it's just human error. It's nobody doing anything maliciously. I forgot it in the trunk of my car. I mean, these detectives ride around with this stuff sometimes for a while if it's not something that is pressing. Evidence is huge. And the loss of evidence, 9 times out of 10, maybe it's just nothing major, But that one time that it's a major case, I guarantee you to that family on the other end of that, it
really puts a stink on it.
Yeah. Yeah. And especially with the evidence that departments deal with, drugs, guns, things like that. These are things you do have to worry about theft. You do, sadly, it becomes a concern.
Being in law enforcement, if you're in that realm, anything that is just smells bad could be a career killer. And again, it could be a simple accident. I forgot where I put my keys. Yeah. Yeah. There's no malicious intent, but when somebody needs it, the DA needs it, or the detective needs it, you better find it.
Right. And so it's not only is it like a cataloging system, so to speak, where you know where all this stuff is at all times, but it's almost like, I mean, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it reminds me almost of like GPS, similar to that, in that does it follow you around like GPS would, or would it just know that you were the last one to have it?
As long as you're within the reading space of the zones.
Okay.
So it's exactly like GPS, but inside the department.
Gotcha.
I can tell you, if you're walking by the zones or going to a specific spot that you want recorded, yes, we can tell you, hey, this piece of evidence was here. This item was here. It walked out. Once it walks out, we're not using a satellite to track it down the road and tell you how fast it's going like a GPS.
Yeah. Because prior to a lot of these departments going to this, it was just put it in a box, right? Like you got a case file and you got a big box, and
that's what they're doing today. We're just giving them a way to tell you what's in the box and where'd you put the box.
Oh, very good. Very good way of putting that. And you offer several options, I guess, or solutions, we'll call it, for law enforcement. You do the evidence tracking like we're talking about now, but you also do asset tracking and fleet management.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
okay,
sir.
So tell me about that.
Well, if you're really good at tracking evidence, it just came up. Hey, can we track our quartermaster stuff?
Yeah.
Sure. Tell me what you're using and why you don't like it.
Right.
And so we developed it. We've actually got that in place in many different realms. Clerk of courts, at some of our financial institutions that are keeping up with equipment or even their files still.
Yeah.
So, if you have an asset that needs to be taken accountable for.
Sure.
We got a solution for you.
You got a solution.
And the fleet management is just that. What cars are out there, who's assigned to the car, when's the last maintenance that was done, all that good stuff.
And that's huge. That's also very important, especially with the maintenance is a good thing to bring up, because that'll save you money, and all these departments are supported by tax dollars. So it's you're paying money into this stuff. And a product like yours is more an investment. I mean, it does all these great things, but you're also it's an investment that you're making in law enforcement, your department, where
Introducing Wondersuite from Bluehost.com, the tool that makes WordPress wonderful for everyone. Website creation is hard. Was hard, but not anymore, thanks to Wondersuite from Bluehost. Answer a few questions about your business and goals, and the Wondersuite tools will automatically lay out your WordPress website or store in minutes. Seriously. From there, you can customize your design, pick your brand colors, and add blocks. No custom theme or coding required. You'll get content suggestions that you can keep or revise. And with Yoast SEO built in, we automatically help you get found in search engines. From step-by-step guidance to suggested plugins to an AI-powered help bot, our built-in tools
the taxpayers would love that, in my opinion. I mean, I think personally, after looking through what you have, I think that ought to be like standard procedure for any department to have.
I might be biased, but I would agree with that.
We should pass that law. But and the reason I say that is they're dealing with a lot of very sensitive things, and you don't even want to have a situation where you lose a piece of evidence ever, no matter how slight.
And that's the thing, we don't even call it a tracking system. We call it an accountability system.
Yeah.
We want to prove to, and when I say we, I'm taking it from the standpoint of our customers and law enforcement. We want to prove to our people on staff and the people in the public, we're being accountable for the things that we said we would do.
Yeah.
I think our products help, and I think we can prove that.
Another really cool product that you offer is currency discriminators.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
So is that like counterfeiting, being able to figure out if something's counterfeited, if it's not, if it's real or if it's counterfeit, basically dollar bills, things like
exactly
that?
Right. So we took in the banking side, we had a lot of currency counters. Every bank uses them. Every bank needs them. And we took it, and there's a company that put some high-speed cameras, and now not only can we count it, but we can record the serial numbers, and we linked up with a RISS, Regional Information Sharing Systems. It's a network that is encompasses all the United States, and they have a money laundering portion, and what they do is as we put our currency counters out to law enforcement, they can reach out and put those serial numbers in and actually see where the bills are traveling.
Wow. Follow it from start to finish. That's a great thing. And I'll tell you a quick story that this happened right around here. It wasn't Livingston Parish. I think, I don't remember. I don't want to shout out the parish just yet. I'll tell you off camera. But I have a friend who actually is in the coin and currency business. That's what he does. He sells silver and gold and all that sort of thing. And a department called him because they had some dollar bills that they thought might be counterfeit, but they weren't sure. He went down there and looked at them, and sure enough, they were. And the way he was able to tell was he's been doing this so long, he could feel the paper. And he could feel that it just wasn't right. But it was a really good fake.
That's an art.
Yeah, that's an art. But a currency discriminator, had they had that, it would have picked that up.
Immediately.
Yeah. So there you go. That's why every department needs something like that, especially now, because the technology to fake these things, to counterfeit bills has come so far, you almost can't tell a difference. You need that.
Well, it's like anything else. If you really want to do something, you can always find out how somebody else got caught. What are you going to do not to do that? So, this is why we have criminals in law enforcement.
That's right. Woody says all the time that, policies are put in place because somebody broke it at one point. That's how a manual's put together. So I think getting Padtrax for any department, it's really being proactive rather than reactive. Mm-hmm. The problem in like a Salt Lake City that I saw when I was reading that article was now they are reacting to all this evidence being missing. How did they find out the evidence was missing? Because they got audited. Mm-hmm. And then, these inspectors, they call them, went in there and they said, whoa, you're missing like 3,000 pieces of evidence. Had they been proactive and had a system like yours in place first, never would have happened. This wouldn't even be an issue. Mm-hmm. And so proactivity in business and law enforcement, whatever, is always going to put you in a good place. And that's one thing that y'all can do to help with that. Now, there's three advantages kind of that I see with Padtrax in particular. One is the time, just the time, the labor savings for a department. If you're not spending hours looking for a piece of evidence that's in, that's in an evidence room, how much time does that save you to go solve crime or whatever if you're a detective?
Oh, 100%.
So the time savings in and of itself is worth the investment in the product, in my opinion. You always know what you have, where it's at, and who has it. That, three things you always want to have. And then the reliability of the product itself, because it updates in real time. Mm-hmm. That's huge.
Yeah. And again, it goes with not only evidence, but assets. I mean, one of the things I've always thought about was look at a school at the end of the year. Mm-hmm. Well, somebody's got to go in there and make sure all the desks are there, all the little TVs they move around on carts, all the assets that a school's supposed to be.
Oh, that's a good point.
Well, how do they do it?
Barcode, huh?
Well, that, or they may have a little clipboard and they'll hire 6 people to walk around the school and go, yeah, there are 7 desks in here. Is it the right desk? Doesn't matter. It's still 7 desks.
Right.
Well, I mean, what if we could take one person to do an entire high school in a day?
Yeah, how much does that save you? Great point. My thing is, when looking at everything that you offer, it is also the money savings of, in a school's case, you're not losing these things. Mm-hmm. How much does one desk cost? Well, I would imagine each school probably has quite a few disappear or, maybe they broke and nobody logged it, all those sorts of things. And hey, I'm all about saving money. That's what this this would do for you as a school system. You also, how about fire departments?
Yeah, again, if you have a movable asset, but boy, I would love to tag something on a fire truck. You go out to a scene, right? The team does what they do. But when they're leaving the scene, they've got to inventory that truck.
Yeah.
Well, how about we could inventory it by just walking around with a handheld, tell you everything that's on there. Hey, you're good to go. You can go to a scene right now. You don't have to go back to the station, re-inventory.
They'd love that.
And again, it's just the possibilities are endless. Everybody wants to know that the stuff they own, they still have.
Yeah, and I would imagine city municipalities.
Sure.
Casinos probably a good for your financial side for sure. I
Absolutely.
would imagine anyone that handles that kind of money.
Yeah, we do a lot of casinos like the truck stop casinos, the smaller ones. The LaBerges and the MGMs. They've got their own people for that.
What about libraries?
There's actually a couple companies out now that instead of putting a barcode on a book, they're putting RFID tags on the spine of the book.
Yeah.
And now it's self-checkout. You literally have they give you your library card that it has an RFID tag in it.
Yeah.
It says, here's Jim. You just walk out and it goes, oh, I see Jim, and he's got 4 books with him. Just put it on his account.
There you go.
And, those, they do really well. But, that is they do libraries. They do it really well.
We'll go back to the financial side just for a second, but do y'all work with like architects and people like that deal with these banks and I know some architects personally that's all they do is banks.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, we've worked with a couple local guys here that you're probably talking about on a lot of different builds in the past years.
Yeah, very good.
So and it's the same thing. A customer calls and says, "Hey, we're going to either remodel or we're going to build a new branch."
Yeah.
Who did so and so down the road? That's my competitor.
Yeah.
Well, I'll find out for you. Or hey, we've got some guys that are really good and they've done 150 banks, and they'll be more than welcome to show you. And so,
sure,
we always want to be to where a customer can call us. We can give them a straight and honest answer and say, we don't do it, but this is a guy you need to talk to.
There you go, and point him in the right direction.
Absolutely.
And, because departments vary so much in size. You might have like an East Baton Rouge parish or Livingston Parish, which is a rather large department compared to the size of a community, I guess you could say. Jason Oren's done a great job over there. But you also have really small departments. They may look at this and say, "Oh, well, that would be too expensive for our department." And look, I say call him and let him see what your needs are. It may not be as crazy as you think.
The CNA was started to help community-sized banks.
Yeah,
it is so much easier to look at. We do Denham and Walker.
Yeah.
If there's an issue, the chief calls me personally. Hey, Matt, we got a problem. Can you come take a look? Yeah, absolutely. No problem.
Yeah.
Our stuff is always built for the smaller size customer. You can always tailor up and make it better. But sometimes you just don't have the ability with a product to go down.
Right. Very, very true. But regardless of the size of the department, there's a need for it, and there's also a use for it. And so it all starts with just reaching out to you and letting you'll talk to them about their needs and point them in the right direction. Just something you feel like you said, I'll be honest with you. And if I feel like that, I can't offer that or service that, I will point you in the direction of someone who can.
Bottom line is what we do is we're a solution company.
Yeah.
We have a tool. These are the things my products and tools can help you with.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's yours. You're going to decide how to use it, how much you want to use it. And if we can just get down to say, oh, if this is the only problem you have, well, here's just a piece of what I can offer you, and go, this will take care of it. Use what you know today, use what you like today, but they just don't do it.
Yeah.
Hey, look, we'll actually want to knock it out right here. Now you have a solution, and it might not be all mine.
Right.
My thing is I gave you a solution, and hopefully you go tell all your buddies, hey, we really like this company, we like the product, and we get more calls that way.
Very good. Very good. And look, y'all have had a great bit of success. I mean, you've seen a lot of companies out there, or a lot of departments out there that I think it's over 60 or something that you service.
60 that are using our evidence product.
Yeah.
We've got
that's a lot.
We've got a few hundred with other products, the currency counters, things like that. But just using evidence, we're approximately right at 60, 61.
Very good. Room for more?
Oh, yeah.
You're really good. And I'm sure departments of all sizes,
Smallest one is a very small community here in Louisiana. It is a 6-person operation, including the chief and his secretary.
Wow. So. Wow. Very good. So don't ever feel like you're too small of a department. They got you covered. Your dad had a quote. We were talking about this off camera just before the show, but he said, hire the right people, take care of them, and get out of the way.
Mm-hmm. Pretty
Great
simple.
quote. Pretty simple, to the point, and so true. And we hammer this down a lot on local leaders, but how important have the people that you've associated yourself with in your business been to the success? And I noticed that a lot of them are banking industry people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. The team we have now, we've got, I think, 16, maybe even 17 that have been with the company 20 years or longer. So
wow.
Before we even knew about RFID and getting into law enforcement.
Right.
So yes, a lot come from the financial industry. I'm not dumb enough to think I'm smarter than any of them. And boy, they're good.
Right.
But I was smart enough to surround myself with them. Be open, be honest, hear what they got to say. All right, let's make a plan. Let's go do it. And as I tell them all the time, guys, talk to me. You can come in my office, go, hey, this is the route we need to go and why.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Very good. And that's a good sign of a leader.
I am not afraid to let you know my guys can build it and do everything.
Yeah.
My job is to give them the tools and the opportunity to do it.
There you go. Great. You said that perfectly. And I actually asked you your definition of a leader, and I loved your response. And you said the 3 R's. And tell us what the 3 R's are.
Well, I'm just thinking it was a quote my dad gave me a long time ago, and meant a lot to me.
Yeah.
It hit home, and it's respect yourself, respect others, take responsibility for your own actions.
That's perfect. That is perfect. And I love the last one. Take responsibility for your own actions. Your dad was a smart man. Something people may not understand about your business. You said that our company supports, and y'all listen up on this, supports customers 24/7. Hard to find in today's world of customer service. Absolutely true. Mm-hmm. 5 o'clock, most people are turning the cell phone off if they have a company cell phone. And they're just putting the day behind them. Y'all are there to support these customers 24/7. And in a place like a casino, they're open 24/7.
Banks, law enforcement, they don't close.
Right.
They don't close for a reason.
Yeah.
They have all your money, or they are here to protect you.
That's right.
We were smart enough a long time ago to put this in, and we probably went 24/7 on support in early 2000s.
Yeah.
And the whole point was, if a customer knew they could call you and get help at any time of the day on weekends, they're going to stay with you knowing you're going to help them.
That's right.
So why not give a good product at a fair price and take care of them and keep them a customer for 30, 40 years?
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. And they will. That's loyalty. And when you take care of your customers will take care of you. There's no doubt about it. And one of the things that we talked about when I first met you, social media, you're not your bag. Let's just say that. But you're smart enough to know that there was a need for that, and it was an important aspect of business. Everything's kind of going that way now.
It is. I think there is a lost art in having a conversation face to face or
Absolutely.
calling someone instead of a text message.
Yes.
However, having teenagers and kids, and they tell you, you're old because you don't do this.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, no, I enjoy doing it this way.
Right.
However, that's just the way the world's going.
Yeah.
And luckily we have Jesse that said, all right, this is what we're going to do, and I need you to do these things. I said, great. If you'll control it and just tell me what I need to do, we can make that happen.
That's perfect. And you need someone like that. We talked a little bit about your employees and the experience they have. Some with, like you say, 40 years experience in the banking community, which is huge, because when I saw that, what clicked to me was you're not only selling a product that a bank can use or many products that a bank can use in the financial sector, you also have people who know what it's like to be on that side of it. Mm-hmm. That's a big thing.
You know, and a lot of times I try not to use the word product and say solution.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times they're just calling and, you know, hey, we can't figure it out.
Right.
No problem. And a lot of times it's just you're overthinking it. You know, you get into the grind. Oh my God, I got to do this by end of day. I got to get this to the Fed, or holy crap, I can't find this piece of evidence.
Right.
Or look, take a breath. Let's just go 1, 2, 3 down the list and let's go knock it out.
Yeah.
And, you know, to me, that's more of a solution because there's nothing messed up. But a lot of times we just get, you know, our brain goes in 18 different directions. We don't know where to start, and we just need to call somebody and go, help me out.
Yeah, very, very true. Great point. And you're one of there's only like 3 patents in North America to track evidence using FRID. Is that true?
RFID, yes, sir.
RFID. Very good. Yep. And y'all have one of them patents?
We have all 3.
Oh, look at that. In Livingston Parish, y'all. The only 3 patents in North America to track evidence using RFID. And I know a lot of law enforcement listen to all of the things that we do. If they're interested in learning more information, how do they go about doing that?
Go to our website, CNAAssociates.com. They can just go on Google. They can type in Padtrax, and again, a lot of times, you know, we're doing better at putting on our page evidence management system. Because that's the thing. How do I manage my evidence better is the biggest question that we always get.
That's right. Well, guaranteed, if a department loses evidence or they can't find it, especially in a major court case, they're going to have a lot of magnification on them at that point, and a lot of scrutiny. So that's something that you're going to avoid. You know, if you deal with something like Padtrax and you have that in place. I asked you some fun facts.
Oh boy!
And I actually enjoyed these.
I don't even remember what they were.
Well, we'll cover them. And I love these because what it does is, look, business owners are fun people too, y'all. And it kind of shows a little bit about their personality. And so one of the ones I asked you was in regards to a yacht. And I said, hey, Matt, if you purchased a yacht, what would you name it? And you said, Out of the Way. That's a great name.
If you purchase something that's big and fast, you know, just get out of my way.
Get out of the way. That's right. I agree 100%. 12 years old, you wanted to be an astronaut?
I did.
Love it.
I did.
Superpower. Now, this one was interesting. I asked you if you could have any superpower, what would it be? And you said complete understanding. Ideas and thoughts are presented in so many ways from different backgrounds. To have the ability to understand all communication and the goal behind it would be rewarding. I couldn't agree with that. You know, we get the gamut on that. Some people want to fly. Some people want to be invisible so they can hear other people's conversations. Complete understanding is a good one, and one that I've never heard, but I would love to have that superpower. Now, I also asked you if you could travel anywhere in the world, and I'm with you on this one. Where would you go? You said the Roman Coliseum.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would too. That's one of my kind of bucket lists. Anything coming up? Do y'all have any? I know y'all do a lot of like, I don't know if you call them pro shows or events, anything like that.
Conferences, trade shows, you know, just whatever they're called. Yeah, we actually sat down last week and we were planning to go to 28 of them this year.
Oh wow!
So they'll be on the website, you know. But we do a lot of the banking side and the law enforcement side.
Yeah.
Clerk of court shows, banking shows. I already said that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll between 3 of us, we'll do 28 next year. We did 31 this year.
Very good. Busy times for y'all. And what we're going to do, folks, we're going to link the website. We're going to link all the pertinent information that you would need to learn more about this amazing company right here in Livingston Parish. What a run you've had so far. 32 years. 32 years, y'all. So that means they're doing it right. That's what that means. That's longevity. Longevity speaks volumes for companies.
It's a legacy I'd like to keep going.
Yeah.
And my job is to keep the doors open, take care of my people.
There you go. So we'll link all that information. And if you have any further questions, just reach out. You can message me, and I'll put you in touch with the good people over at CNA Associates. And so you have fun.
Absolutely. A little nervous, but
yeah, no, you did great, man. You did great. And until next time, I'm Jim Chapman. I'm reminding you to love your community, support local business just like CNA Associates, and keep leading. Thank you very much.
Selling your car to Carvana is as easy as...
As easy as pie?
Sure. All you have to do is enter your license plate or VIN.
As easy as a stroll in the park.
Okay, then just answer a few questions and you'll get a real offer in seconds.
As easy as singing.
Why not? Schedule a pickup or drop off and Carvana will pay you that amount right on the spot.
As easy as playing guitar.
Actually, I find that kind of difficult. But selling your car to Carvana is as easy as...
Can be.
Visit Carvana.com or download the app to get an instant offer today.
Did you know that lung cancer accounts for 1 in 5 cancer deaths? However, a recent 20-year study confirmed that annual low-dose CT scanning can reduce lung cancer deaths by 95%. That's right, 95%. Virtual Imaging of Atlanta specializes in low-dose CT scanning for cancers and heart disease screening. Visit virtualimagingatl.com for a special holiday offer now through January. Give yourself or a loved one the gift of life this holiday season.